Sometimes the people who shape your life the most aren't the ones standing on the stage. They're the ones in the room next to it. I was reminded of that this week when I found out that my friend Mike D Adachi passed away. And it made me think about the role he played during the early years of my life in the Waikīkī nightlife scene. Mike and I met around 2008 during the early days of my nightclub promoting career in Waikīkī. At the time, my life was changing fast. I had just gotten out of the military, and almost overnight, I found myself in a completely different world. Promoting parties, being on the radio, trying to build a name in the Waikīkī nightlife scene. It all happened quickly, probably faster than someone my age was fully prepared to process. Mike was one of the people who helped me navigate that world. He worked at the radio station producing commercials, and every Monday I would go down there to record the ads for my parties that week. What started as a professional connection quickly turned into something much simpler. Monday became my favorite part of the week, not because of the commercials, because I got to hang out with Mike D. He was one of the most talented DJs and music producers in Hawaii. The kind of guy who would probably help create songs people heard on the radio for years without even realizing he was the one behind them. But if you met him, you wouldn't necessarily know it. He didn't carry himself like someone chasing attention. He was just Mike D. Funny, laid back, confident in a quiet way. One of the first times I realized he really had my back happened early in my promoting career. Another account executive at the station had taken an opportunity I was working on and gave it to another club before I ever had the chance to use it. It was a tough lesson. Mike knew about it. Instead of letting me deal with that situation alone, he introduced me to Shannon Okamoto, who became my account executive at the station. For the next 4 years, Shannon and Mike D were basically my team on the radio side. They helped me build my promotions the right way and made sure the commercials and campaigns were created actually worked. That was one of the first moments where I realized Mike wasn't just someone I worked with, he was someone looking out for me. Every Monday, we'd sit in that studio recording commercials, coming up with ridiculous ideas for parties and talking story. One of those moments turned into something that stuck around for years. Back then, Lil Wayne had a song where he called himself the greatest rapper alive. I remember telling Mike how wild it was that someone could say something like that with so much confidence. So one day while we were recording commercial, I joked into the microphone, "This is Nugget with Nugget Style Productions, the coolest white boy alive." And Mike loved it. Instead of cutting the line, he dropped it straight into the commercial. For a long time after that, it became part of the radio ads for my Wednesday night parties. It was ridiculous, but it worked. Mike understood something about branding and energy that I was still learning. Sometimes confidence could be playful. Sometimes saying something outrageous made people pay attention. That idea eventually turned into something bigger. At the time, our Wednesday night party was competing with some serious nightlife events around town. Dave & Buster's had their famous Light the Roof on Fire night over on Ward. Play Bar, which used to be Scruples, had a dollar drink night that pulled huge crowds. Mike helped me realize something simple about marketing. If you believe something is the best, say it. So we started calling our party the #1 college jump-off on a Wednesday night. At first, it sounded ridiculous, but the more we said it, the more people believed it. Eventually, it wasn't just a line in a commercial anymore, it became real. I even remember joking about it with one of my DJs, DJ Revise. I used to introduce him as the #1 DJ, and he would look back at me in the club, holding up the #1 finger like it was our inside joke. But the truth is, that mindset came from the idea that Mike gave me. He also taught me something even more important: stay grounded. At the point in my life, everything was moving fast. I was young, suddenly making good money, and my name was on flyers and radio ads all over Waikīkī. It would have been easy for that to go to my head. Mike never let it. He had a way of reminding me that the scene was bigger than any one person, that respect mattered, that the people around you were the reason any of it worked in the first place. And he led by example. Outside of the studio, Mike was known for DJ competitions where he would literally light part of his DJ equipment on fire during his sets. It looked insane, and people loved it. He was incredibly talented, incredibly creative, and incredibly respected in the scene. But the thing I will remember most is simple: Mondays. Walking into that radio station, knowing I was about to spend an hour laughing, talking story, and recording the next ridiculous commercial idea with my friend. This week, I learned that Mike passed away in his sleep, way too young. The kind of news that reminds you how fragile this whole thing really is. We all assume there will be more time to catch up, more time to send that message, more time to say thank you. Sometimes there isn't. Looking back now, I realize how much those Mondays meant. Not just because of the work we were doing, but because of the kind of person Mike was. He was talented, respected, and creative, but he never carried himself like someone who needed recognition. He just showed up, helped people around him, and quietly made the scene better. Sometimes the biggest influence in your life comes from someone who never tried to be the center of attention. So today, I just want to say this. Mike D, thank you. Thank you for the laughs. Thank you for the lessons. And thank you for helping a young promoter stay grounded in a world that could have easily changed him. Rest easy, my friend, my Monday mentor. If you want to read the full written version of this story, you can find it at nuggetspeaks.com. Aloha.